Live up to what she think. Live up to what she think. You know, I first did that with the Fantastic Four. Glenn Goins has just got with us. Parliament was basically a vocal group anyway. This is Live Up to What She Think, and that's Glenn, Calvin Simon, myself, Gary Scheider, Grady and Fuzzy, and Ray. Doo-wop and Iasa. Sydney Barnes. Sydney Barnes. Where should I start at? You know, our let's see how you say it. Our production team was called Joseph Mike, George Clinton, Sidney Barnes, and Mike Terry. It was the three of us. We did J.J. Barnes, Evan Starr, Pat Lewis. We did a lot of records together. Most people probably know Sidney from the Rotary Connection. Sidney and Minnie Riperton, that was their particular thing. But Sidney and I go all the way back till about 16 years old. I used to do his hair at Newark in the barber shop. And they had a group called Serenaders, and we were Parliaments, and we used to jam against each other every now and then. We kicked their booty. They was much better than us, but we was better showmen. When we was mixing the live Mothership album, and that's when the Brides first came with us to, as the Brides, because Neil Bogart had asked for a group, and I named them the Brides of Funkenstein. He thought that was too dark, so he said, give me some Parlettes. So I found him three more girls and called them Parlettes, and I thought the Bride was the hip name, so I kept the Brides. And I went on and did an album on them for Julia Phillips, of which this was one of the songs written by Gary Cooper Mudbone from Bootsy Rubber Band. The Brides, the Brides. By this time, we had three brides. Um, it was Sheila Horn, Jeanette Magruder, and Dawn Silver. And you can tell by the sophisticated harmonies and the big band sound on the record, the girls had grown a lot. I mean, they were headlining some of their own gigs by then. Just for Play, Ron Ford was kicking booty. That's all I can say. He had them sounding real good, the Brides. Yeah, off the wall. That girl's totally off the wall. Off the roof, too. I mean, it's hard as hell to sing behind Junie Morrison. When he writes stuff, it's like some of the hardest stuff in the world to sing. But she can sing anybody's stuff. I mean, you can tell from the days of Grazing in the Grass with the Friends of Distinction, or Lift Your Head to the Sky with Earth, Wind and Fire, or Knee Deep with Funkadelic. That's my younger brother Jimmy. Some people know him as Jimmy G with the Tack Heads, but this is actually one of the first songs he cut when he came out from New Jersey, and it was waiting on his big brother to make him famous. Get it on, Jimmy. Yeah, that's the wizard, the genius of Junie Morrison. And he didn't do just one album when he came with us. He did three albums at once. We call it triumphs. He figured we was on the one and two, so he just do it by three. He is one of those little wizards. Junie Morrison. Maruga, the Soda Jerks. Anybody that walk up to you and tell you they got a group called Enlightened Punk, that's the concept of the music. I mean, I ain't got to hear nothing. I mean, if you got enough nerve to say some concept like that. And Maruga was like one of the earliest new wavers or punks. This was like 77 or 8. But he went off to the monastery after Woodstock. He went off and became a monk. And he one time about, I guess when he first met the Red Hot Chili Peppers, he thought he wasn't weird enough anymore. When we did the Chili Peppers album, he showed up, and he felt really bad. He felt like, damn, these are new crazies, so I guess I'm not in. I told him it'd take 2 lifetimes for him not to be crazy. Oh man, Four Tops, man. I feel inadequate to even talk about them, first of all, but I guess I can because basically I don't even believe in cool. I mean, I worked in a barbershop. I made suckers cool. But the Four Tops is exception to that rule. I mean, this is probably the only group. This ain't got nothing to do with the record, but since I got to talk about the Four Tops, I might as well talk about the Four Tops. This is the only group I know that goes to a show cool, and they leave after sweating and tearing the whole place down. They leave as cool and clean as they came, from fresh shirts to cologne to hairdo. I mean, they are legitimately the only cool group I know.